Welcome to the Tech on Toast podcast. My name's Chris Fletcher and I am your host. Summer's here and your restaurant's about to get busy. Packed patios, back-to-back tables and fans gluing to the game on every screen. Come on, Harry Kane. It's one of the most exciting times but also one of the most demanding. When service spills onto the patio and orders start flying in, things can get chaotic fast. But what if you had a system built to keep everything flowing? Lightspeed is that system. It's a powerful EPOS and payments platform designed to help your team stay fast, focused and in control, no matter how busy it gets. With tableside, staff can take orders and payments anywhere, turning tables faster and keeping guests happy. Moving to the back of house, Lightspeed KDS keeps your kitchen running smoothly, so every order is clear, accurate, and fired at the right time, even during peak rush. From front of house to the kitchen, Lightspeed connects everything, helping you reduce errors, speed up service, and deliver standout guest experiences all summer long. This season, don't just keep up with the rush, own it with Lightspeed. Now enjoy the show. Welcome to Tech on Toast podcast. Welcome back. It's been a long day of podcasting, but my favourite one is at the end. Is that the right thing to say?
That's exactly the right thing to say, particularly when it's the truth, Chris.
I only tell the truth. Welcome, Rod Schneider, COO of workforce.com.
Thanks for having me.
How are you, mate?
Yeah, really.
I think last time we had you on was maybe you wore shorts.
Yeah, that's the only thing you can remember about the podcast.
Pretty much.
All of my brilliant insights that I shared, and what Chris takes away is the guy wore.
Yeah, unfortunately, you can't have bias in my job, right? You can't be biased towards platforms or anything, but you can't help but be biased towards people because sometimes you just get connections with people. And you're one of our bias, all of our team. We do love the workforce. I don't know why. Maybe it's because when we meet you, you're mostly drunk. Is that good for your boss to see? Or?
I don't know whether to be concerned about that when it comes to the morning teas.
To be fair, it's only Jesse.
Yeah.
But yeah, great to have you back, my friend. We thought we'd bring you back on because it's been probably 2 years since we last spoke on the podcast, and I'm guessing a lot has happened in workforce world since then. And I love the fact you're always branded. Did you have that on before you came here? Or we just put it on.
I slept in it. I got up. I never take it off.
Exactly. Jesus, only when the shorts come on. Yeah. So tell us a little bit back for people who don't know Workforce.
Yeah.
Tell us about the product, what it does, what it is, and then we'll get into it.
Yeah, what it says on the tin, right? Workforce management platform, but everything to do with managing your staff. So that journey from recruitment, onboarding, HR, scheduling, right through to payroll. That's where we want to take all the admin out of your hands.
Not rare, but one of the few that is end to end. If you want to use that, I don't know.
Yeah. No,
that phrases
because end to end will mean everything. Yeah, then
I know. I've already caused problems.
End will mean something else.
I feel like I'm at the end.
One of the few that does.
I think it's payroll, isn't it? More than
staff journey. I think the other thing that's really important for us is all of our coders. We've done that not by acquisitions.
Yeah.
So this is all natively built.
That was my point, I think, made really badly. That actually it's built by you and it's not being gathering up bits along the way type thing.
That's right. That's right. We didn't do this by acquisition.
Don't do it.
We've got a team of developers here in Shoreditch.
Oh really? Is that why you're so close then?
Yeah, that's
all right. Okay.
That's right. I didn't send you a map just
I did. You didn't put any explanation. You just sent me a screen grab saying 7 minutes.
Yeah. You were meant to look at the top of it where it said workforce.com here, studios here. 7.
It was Bank Holiday Monday, mate.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. And a bit of the back of that then, a bit of the background, because it feels like you guys are very much built for hospitality. And I know that's one of those things on LinkedIn, but it does feel like that's the gearing behind it. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, I hope someone's got a bingo card out there and they're just ticking phrases off as we go through.
Yeah, podcast 3, mate. You're going to get them all. AI is coming very soon.
Oh, yeah, don't worry. That's at the center of the bingo card. Yeah, definitely have that flavor, but we were founded by 4 guys who at that stage were running a university. A lot of our first and biggest clients are in the hospitality industry, and they've led a lot of our expansion, listening to them and what they want. We do serve other industries. But
was that the punch clock story you told me? The punch card story?
Yeah.
See, I did listen to you.
Yeah.
I don't remember it, but I remember the story about there's a card.
Yeah, essentially people had hired their mates to run the bar and they were putting in timesheets for times when the bar wasn't even open. Accountability, let's say it wasn't quite up to scratch there.
Those people now lead Meta, Google.
Yeah. And at that time, the only form of, or the dominant form of punch card or system was the biometric scanners. But at that stage, the technology was so that they were costing 30 grand a pop. So rather than that, the first version of ours was new. It was a native cloud-based app that went into Google Sheets or a back-end system. That was the immediate first iteration of the system.
And you're known as Tanda back home in Sydney.
That's right. That's right. You can say it with whichever accent you like, but Tanda in Australia, workforce.com
Yeah.
around the world.
Okay. Fair enough. I'm interested to gather before we get into some more producty stuff.
Yep.
What do you think about industry where we sit right now and just general adoption and stuff? Because obviously we talk about tech a lot, hence why I'm losing my mind at the end of the day. But I think I feel like sometimes we're spinning around in a bowl type thing. You know, those water slides you go on and they go around that bit at the bottom,
Yeah.
and then they drop through the middle.
Yep.
I feel like we spend a lot of time in that round and round. We work with a lot of customers on your behalf or on our partner's behalf, and sometimes it's difficult. Is it getting harder to get decisions made, or is it just something that I'm just in the middle of a cycle?
Yeah, I don't think it's getting harder to get decisions made. I would say that when I first moved over to the UK 5.5 years ago, it felt like the adoption in Australia was faster. And I would say that has changed now.
Yeah.
In that it's par for the course. Everyone expects that in the UK, and to the point where they demand quite a lot. They demand different things, but they demand quite a lot. And we find decisions are still getting made. Some businesses, obviously, though, faster than others.
Yeah, it's true. No, but it's true. And I think the general view of tech is I think everybody's accepted it's here to stay, particularly in your category, right? It's not a new category. It's something we need to run a business.
Yeah.
If you're running more than one site, then or even one site, right?
Yeah.
You're going to need some form of scheduling tool. And I suppose I was asking, are you still seeing, is there a clamor for the category? Do you feel like it's bottoming out at any point? Is it saturated? There's a lot of guys who sit in your competition, isn't there?
Yeah, we're not as saturated as, say, point of sale.
God, no.
We're just
No
at
one
the
could
time
be.
we've been talking today, two point of sale systems
And payments.
have come up. But so we're definitely not that bad. But there are a lot of
1 of 10 probably. Yeah.
There's
that you would know.
There's a lot of competitors out there. I think that's good. It keeps us honest. We obviously see ourselves as at the front of the pack, but there's always people coming through,
Of course,
nibbing at our heels, and that's good for when it's SaaS world. That's what you want, because it keeps everyone honest and clamoring to be the best.
And I suppose from my point of view, the operator wins when that happens, because so there's a bunch of guys who are doing a great job in scheduling, then you would imagine, or in workforce generally, and you're going to see some output on the other end, which actually makes the operators' lives easier.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is the main aim.
Yeah, for sure.
And I said here, you moved from Sydney. You didn't move from Sydney, did you?
No.
Apparently, that's quite offensive. Is that offensive? Or?
I wouldn't say offensive, because there's going to be some new.
You just put "really" as the notes.
Yeah, that was my comment. I just thought we knew each other better, Chris. I just thought you'd know.
I actually know you're from Brisbane, so yeah.
Yeah,
there you
very
go.
good. Yeah.
And you're doing this new role. You do that across, not new role, but the last year you're now doing across. Are you doing the world, or are you doing?
Yeah, my focus is outside of Australia, so
that's quite a big focus.
Yeah. So it's across the world. I don't have to, obviously.
Yeah, you have
a lot of the team in Australia is there, so I don't have to cross over with that part as much. But definitely, still keep tabs on what they're doing, and it is helpful to know, because a lot of growth and good ideas come out of there as well as other teams around the world. So
I was about to ask that. Is there a correlation between when you're traveling around and meeting other people in different regions? Are you learning stuff that could be useful in the UK, or are you seeing similar trends in the operations?
Yeah, there's similarities and there's differences, and part of my role is to look at what's happening in each of those markets and help our teams in the US, the UK, Australia, or the people that operate in our rest of world team share the best ideas that are coming out, or the ideas that do translate really well. And sometimes it's an idea that it doesn't necessarily work neatly, but the underlying concept works, and you have to change the language, the terminology, the way it operates, but the underlying principles will work.
Oh, that's a great segue. It's not even on my sheet.
Oh, okay.
Because some of the 2 or 3 of the queries we've had in the last 6 months have been around multi-regional brands that sit in the UK, then Europe, and then particularly Europe. Let's talk about Europe.
Yeah.
Europe is difficult. And when I worked for the Hard Rock, we were in Germany, France, all over the place, and payroll laws and payroll rules change dramatically across. I think in the States it's the same, right? I think state to state is you can have different payroll laws. How do you navigate? And I'm guessing AI might be a bit of a conduit here to help, but how do you navigate that for a customer? Because I think it's becoming a fairly common ask.
Yeah, no, that's we love those asks, and I just assume, Chris, that for all those people who've come through and asked you that, you've sent them our way, because we do handle that so well.
Definitely 2 of them I have.
Exactly. But I think we're lucky when it comes to payroll laws and earnings rules,
right,
as we would call it, because Australia is home to some of the most complex in the world.
Really?
I would say there's rules. There's rules that are to do with what temperature it is on your shift and changing pay rates. There's rules that say if you work this many hours in a day and that many hours a day, then that many hours in a week or that many hours in consecutive days, and all the rules will stack. So the rules will be tens upon hundreds, upon in some accounts thousands.
So working 100 degrees in a kitchen that used to be a bank vault in London, isn't it?
Well,
you still get paid the same.
The one that has the temperatures in it is an outdoor occupation, but I just can
But it obviously makes sense, right? Because you don't want workers being
exactly.
killed.
So that's not good for your workforce.
No.
So
Or your retention.
When we come from that market,
Yeah.
and we're looking at France is also famously complex. So
Yeah.
we've got a great advantage in that when it comes to these complexity of rules that we're founded in Australia, one of our biggest and first international clients was Domino's in France almost 10 years ago. So the ability to handle those two countries in particular means that there's not a whole lot we haven't seen when we're working in countries throughout Europe. And then it's just a matter of what the part that AI can do is very easily help them configure their accounts.
I was going to ask that. What is it that bit will do to help? Because I think it seems to be unlocking a little bit more. I'm guessing you could do it before, but through your own.
Yeah, exactly. We would do it. The only difference is how it helps the customer use our system in that interface. So the capacity to do it was always there.
Yeah.
But through the interface that the AI agents have and what we've built into our system, they can write in very simple language what the requirement is that they need.
Yeah.
And the account.
So someone's worked a 20-hour week, they're pregnant, whatever it might, all the different bits that might lie along.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think that there were two different asks. One was a company who has restaurants across different regions, and they were employing someone in France 30 hours a week to manage just the payroll.
Yeah.
Across the French units compared to
that sounds.
And then they had, I'm going to say Workday as their overarching, which just didn't work. Although it's a massive product, right? And it just didn't work for what they were trying to do. Sorry, Workday.
Yeah,
and
that's
then
massive for HR. It's massive for payroll. But when it comes to those scheduling and earnings rules, I
think that's what I'm saying. So they wanted to link it into their HR piece, which was good, and it was just square peg round hole. And then the other request, we were talking to a guy who has hotels all over Europe. Same thing. He said it's absolutely a bun fight, he called it, in between the different stages. He says, and all we do is make mistakes, and it's people's pay. And he said it's the one thing you can't undo when you upset people, and it causes retention. It causes poor retention because people will leave on it.
Exactly.
And he said, so it's definitely one challenge of a million. I'm sure you get put in front of you. What are some of the common challenges that if you're rocking up to a demo or you're going to meet a new customer, what are the big things? Are people mostly looking for cost saving? Is that the immediate reason for change, or is it functionality, or is it something else?
I mean, people are always looking for cost saving.
Yeah.
It does seem someone's handed out a memo to everyone saying, just go get some AI and put it in our back office, could you please? And that is probably the biggest challenge.
Is that really coming up? Is that really?
Yeah. Because someone said, the accessibility of tools like ChatGPT means people get that I can ask this thing and it gives answers this way.
That's what I'm saying. The tail's wagging the dog, isn't it? Because
independently of that, you've got software which says it uses AI.
Yeah.
And so someone at board or director level will go, this thing's pretty good, and these things say that they have AI.
Yeah.
So you, ops manager, go find some AI and give us that. And as long as we buy something that has AI, look at it. And people will, whether it's AI or whether it's AI scheduling, whatever that subset that they've been told is, we do get a lot of operation managers just tasked with checkboxes, and that is the big checkbox. And it's a challenging one only because if you dig a bit deeper, they don't actually know what the end outcome that they're looking for.
Yeah, because I remember being involved in RFPs, which was the old way of, it still is a way of people requesting cash, right, to go and buy a product or whatever it might be, whether it's a fridge or a bit of tech.
Yep.
And that was a great way, right? It was detailed response to what functionality they needed within their product to be able to solve their problems and for you to sell to them. And I saw one the other day, and it was very different. It was very much about, can you plug into, it was all about integrations and plugging, which I understand integrations, but it was about the AI integrating all the different platforms and bringing, I want a blanket. The phrase was, I want a blanket over my scheduling so I can request anything whenever I want. which feels like a lot of the
That
products
sounds like
have.
the coziest RFP question I've ever heard. Can I have a blanket over my scheduling?
Yeah, basically their idea was that they wanted to be able to, from a C-suite level, sit in the boardroom and go, tell us about Liverpool. Why are they over by 2% versus
Sure.
Manchester? And as you said, get a direct response from the software to tell that. But I'm guessing that's already there, right?
But that's always my problem with RFPs or
Yeah.
any sort of checkbox
Yeah.
is when you ask to the next layer, what are they actually trying to achieve? So this person's looking for
Why?
head office reporting. They want to do this and exactly that.
Yeah.
Why are they looking to do that? And a big part of any RFP that we go through is getting to the stage where we can actually ask those questions of the people, because there might be different ways to achieve these things other than the way that they were thinking. And what really matters to us is, can we get you the answer to the question that you're asking?
Yeah.
They don't actually care how we do it.
Yeah.
What's more important is getting the answer.
Yeah.
That doesn't always come through.
Well, it's true, because it's not a person, it's a document. Yeah. It's hard.
That's
Never,
right.
It's hard to query because someone would have written that and they're probably emotional about what they're writing as well, right? So I did one for a hotel chain a while ago, and she wrote it. And when I asked her, I had the same conversation with someone, and I said, okay, the company are asking, the partner are asking, why do you need this particular feature? And she said, because it just makes my job easier. And she's the HR director, right? And I was thinking, okay. I said, but what about the wider scope? Is that just for you, or is it for the...
Yeah.
And she said, literally just that one thing. I have to do it 3 times a week. So it's just quite interesting, right? To dig.
Yeah, I mean, that's a long conversation.
Yeah.
Because why do you have to do it 3 times a week?
That's
Who's
what I'm
asking? Who's asking?
So it's like you pull on the thread.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you can't do that unless you're in front of the person, right? Which I really share with all of our partners at Tech on Toast, that the frustration of not being able to demo, not even demo actually. Demo's the wrong word anymore. It's about that onion peeling.
It's a discovery piece. Which
Yes,
is often
discovery.
far more important.
Onion peeling probably doesn't sound as cool.
No, that's all right. We can call it onion peeling. Forever now on at Workforce, when
Mitch
someone
doesn't
says
come
I've got
back
a
to-
disco call, they're going to call it an onion peeling.
What do you mean? You're peeling an onion? That's what
Yeah.
Chris says. Yeah. But that's true, right? To be able to press the flesh and talk to someone, actually
Sure.
understand their problems, like anything. It's just easier in person.
It's critical.
Yeah.
And when you think about a platform like Workforce, we've got so many different aspects, and they might have allocated half an hour, or if we're lucky, an hour out of their day. We have to be talking about the things that matter to them. So the discovery call, the onion peeling, is actually really valuable because they've committed to give us this much of their day, and we need to show them the parts of the platform which will have the biggest impact for them.
And do you think that a lot of misbought product or missolved problems is because of that not being done properly, that bit?
Oh, I've got no doubt. That's exactly misbought product. Also missold.
That's
You know,
right.
just an
William
misalignment.
Connor said to me ages ago on a panel when he was in, I don't know, Oaxaca, a long time ago. And he said, it's funny when you get a solution to be sold. He goes, you've got the salesperson goes, yes, I've got a sale. And you've got the operator going, yes, I've solved my problem. And then smash in the middle. They don't meet, right?
Yeah.
Because the other one hasn't really listened to the other one. And then they've ended up buying this thing. They go, oh, I haven't solved my problem. I don't care. I've got a sale. No, you haven't. You've got to go in and pick it.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything's a nail. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's fascinating, isn't it? And that can only be undone by talking. And I think since Chris Cartmel came to work for us, it's been very interesting how much involvement he has in everything we talk about. He sits in on every meeting because he wants to understand that the problem's being solved for the operator.
Yeah.
And it's not to watch the partners know what you're doing. It's about making sure that they're expressing what they told him. So if they said to him, we've got this specific problem we need fixing, then he just walks away. All of a sudden, that might not see its way through to the finish. Do you know what I mean? And it gets lost in translation.
That often happens. I mean, that's why video calls are hard. You have to be watching people's expression to see what someone's talking about.
You almost need like a wingman to watch.
Yeah, exactly. And so two people on a demo, that can help. Like someone might have been
Sarah's my wingman,
screwing up their face or looking a little bit weird when you were talking about that, and the other person,
exactly. No, but it's true, Nick, because people don't like to
interrupt.
Yeah,
say what they think. Yeah, particularly in a certain country. Somewhere around here.
We're just, it's true though. We will just literally sit there and go, nod, sign the document, buy the product and go, actually, I didn't. Did you really want that? No, I didn't know.
Yeah.
It's so weird. But it's true. It's not just in tech, right? It's in all purchasing, anything we buy in personal as well as professional.
Yeah.
So it's tricky. It's tricky. I want to talk a bit more about AI. Do you mind?
Let's talk about AI.
Well, I just want to... So do you think, because it's now, as I was talking about the tail wagging the dog, so at Tech on Toast, Claude is enabling us to do some stuff, which is fun. but it's a bit of a rabbit hole. And I do think that I distracted my team for 4 weeks at one point by building literally everything they do in about 5 seconds. And they were like, "What? Where do we log in? What do we do? What's going on?"
Sure.
Do you think, are you experiencing that we can build that scenario yet from any kind of customer meetings? Not scheduling, but are you starting to see the understanding of AI and what they can do with it internally as an operator? Yeah,
absolutely. We had someone recently, there was an integration to, again, point of sale, an obscure point of sale we hadn't heard of. And the person that was buying had no tech background. I forget their role, but it wasn't ops or techie either. And they said, they were very switched on, and they said, "Yeah, no worries, that's okay, we'll get it." And by the next meeting, this person has built the integration.
What?
Using it. We were very impressed. But there's definitely tools, things you can do out there.
Yeah.
I'd say pieces of what you're trying to do, small pieces, and it makes those objections that you get or that we used to have, hurdles. Let's say that.
Yeah.
There might be hurdles in the past that were a bit small. They weren't necessarily going to be a priority for us to build natively into our product because they might be a distraction, but they're small on the side. Yeah, we're seeing some people that are savvy enough to go, "Yeah, let's see if I can vibe code this thing."
Yeah, it's very interesting. It is. I just want to say,
AI isn't new. It's not a new thing. It's been around for a while. There's been some things that have changed with LLMs and transformers that mean that it's far more accessible. It's far more useful.
Well, that's what's changed, right? That
Exactly.
I can use it.
Yeah.
Before I wouldn't have a clue. Now I can literally go and build a product.
So there's a visibility there
Yeah.
to the end user that wasn't there and hasn't been there in any sort of software before that people can now see, and there's a transparency of what's going on. And I think that there's two ways in which people are overselling or in this. I definitely believe there's lots more it can do, and so I'm bullish on it. But I'm also skeptical of what's being sold. One example would be another supplier in the workforce management world just this April has released a world first scheduling feature, which will go through all of these validations, like checking if someone is available, checking if they're on leave, checking these things. A world first. And they released it just last April. Now, to think that people that are talking about these things like they haven't been able to be done for almost 10 years already, it's almost a laugh. That's now a meme internally to us, that some people are out there talking about this technology like they've split the atom when it's been available for ages. So there's that element. But I think the really important element is that accessibility to people and how they can use it. And what we're thinking about a lot, is this thing best left in the hands of the user to customize? Something that we couldn't have, or is it best left hard-coded into the system?
Yeah.
Are these things, are we just creating more work
Yeah.
by having an AI agent ask the questions, or should that already be?
It does fascinate me if you give the operator the power to build themselves or to adapt themselves within a framework. I think you'll see less than you think. Because I think only when you sit them down and say, "What problems have you got?" Everything comes out right. But in data, from my experience in day-to-day ops, you're looking at one or two numbers constantly. Yeah. You're looking at labor over under.
Absolutely.
You're looking at sales over under. I don't know how much detail I need to do my job as an operator running 90 sites at one point to say, I know where I need to be. And this was before tech, right? I knew, and I'm not saying that I'm not dismissing what's happening now, but I knew where I needed to be based on those numbers and guest experience. And that was it, right? And I think sometimes I would be interested to see if you put it in the hands of the operator, how much what adaptation you'd see.
Yeah.
Or have you done enough?
One thing that we're really keen to work on a little bit more is to test out the edits from the managers versus what
the bot would say
versus what was predicted.
Yeah.
The piece of information that will give the operator is this manager is actually good.
Yeah.
Lots of the time.
Good at scheduling.
Yeah. Good at one thing.
They might be shit on the floor.
Yeah. But their edits, in theory, should have more time to be on the floor, but their edits actually make sense. These edits don't make sense. Trying to explore that and see.
I think that's what you want to work in between the lines, right? Where you've got that space where you can, that's useful. And I was talking about someone the other day about, it's like we had energy guys on earlier on who were talking, and most people will yawn, right? But it's a piece of data